Kilmar Abrego Garcia is now facing deportation again. Just 3 more deportations and he gets a free Subway sandwich. 3 more. A men's event in Brooklyn, New York City Memorial candidate Zohran Mamdani failed to bench press 135 pounds. In his defense, he was on his period. Meanwhile, Riley Gaines bench pressed 165 pounds to show up Mamdani.
Nice.
But not to be outdone, Leah Thomas put up 166.
With her penis.
Oh, we got a penis crowd tonight. All right, cool. My favorite. An English woman just celebrated her 116th birthday, making her the world's oldest living person. She celebrated, as you would expect, by kicking Zohran Mamdani's ass in a bench press contest. Literally. Madonna's 29-year-old boyfriend has reportedly convinced her she doesn't need all those fillers in her face. He also convinced her to keep her bedroom pitch black at all times. Despite the recent cancellation of Stephen Colbert's Late Show, Lorne Michaels says Seth Meyers is safe at NBC. I guess it makes it official. Lorne Michaels is senile. The Burbank butt-sniffing pervert has been arrested yet again, despite being busted last month. Talk about a crack addiction. In a related story, Greg will be off tomorrow. Send your bail checks to Fox. A suspect was arrested for trying to burglarize Lionel Richie's Beverly Hills home. This after police searched for him all night long. And they only found him after he kept shouting, "Hello? Is it me you're looking for?" And they searched and they searched. Turns out he was dancing on the ceiling. I'm going to stop there. And finally, a 27-year-old virgin is refusing to kiss before marriage, saying a smooch could quickly lead to sex. Hey, wait a second. Joe, you're not 27. If you are, you're the most shot-out 27-year-old I've ever seen in my life. All right, now to the news. Our dear, sweet President Trump signed a few more executive orders today. One would cut federal funding from left-wing cities that have implemented cashless bail, and another EO keeps D.C. suspects in custody ahead of trial. It's part of his crackdown on crime, which is already seeing results in D.C.
In the last 11 days, we've had no murders. And that's the first time that's taken place in years, actually years. We always have a murder a week. They call it a murder a week. You come here from Iowa, you come here from Indiana, you come here from Idaho, because you're so proud of your country, you love your country, and then you get murdered. Your son gets murdered, your daughter gets murdered, you get murdered. See the media, you get murdered.
That's not pleasant. Trump also signed an executive order that makes flag burning a crime.
Because what happens when you burn a flag is the area goes crazy. When you burn the American flag, it incites riots at levels that we've never seen before. People go crazy. And what the penalty is going to be, if you burn a flag, you get 1 year in jail, no early exits, no nothing. You get 1 year in jail. If you burn a flag, you get, and what it does is incite to riot. I hope they use that language, by the way. Did they?
Yeah, incitement.
Incite to riot. And you burn a flag, you get 1 year in jail. You don't get 10 years, you don't get 1 month. You get 1 year in jail, and it goes on your record. And you will see flag burning stopping immediately.
Immediately. I drink to that. But it wouldn't be a Trump event without a swipe at old Sleepy Joe.
There's no auto pen that can do that, right? Look at that pen. Is that a good signature? Seriously, is that a good signature? Who can write like that? Nobody. I assume we're looking at the whole auto pen scam. Number one, you shouldn't use an auto pen, very specifically. But if you do, it has to be a very good reason. And they have to know that the president wanted it. The president didn't want this. The president didn't know he was alive, okay?
It's never over. Joe, the flag burning. I guess there'll be a lot of people who are, free speech are going to make a lot of qualms and argument about this. But I think he's got a clever path to incite a riot.
It's going to be tough. He even admits in the executive order that it's only going to be effective when it is not found to be the constitutionally protected flag burning. I think there are better ways to prevent flag burning. My idea is to mandate that gas cans weigh 135 pounds. That way a liberal will never be able to lift it. But it's crazy to me that all these crime statistics, people keep saying that crime is at 30-year lows, and they forget to mention that crime was low 30 years ago because they were punishing people, they were prosecuting people. So it's not necessarily the bail, it's the lack of prosecution, it's the lack of prison sentences. Every time there's a horrible crime in New York, it's just countdown to see how many times this person's been arrested and prosecuted in the past, yet they're somehow walking around for free. And pardon me, in my opinion, there's just some people that don't deserve to walk amongst us, like murderers or pedophiles or people that say negatory instead of the word no. Do they belong amongst us? I say negatory.
He's cleaning up the streets in D.C. He's making it to where it's a deterrent. I think the flag thing is a deterrent, trying to get people. Is this the recipe for success? I ask you, Chef.
Yeah. Whew. And was that because you say I burn things?
Only if it's like with the little flame and it's asked for it, like a creme brulee, right? Don't you burn the sugar?
I like that. That's a good call.
Don't
curdle your creme brulee. And here comes my political take. So that's a no from me. See, I did a little bit differently. Not a negatory. I hate that's a no from me. So I think that people are freaking out about this, and that's what Trump wants, right? Like, he's doing these things. He hasn't looked into the constitutional detail behind this. He's just going to kind of launch it out there, and then Democrats are going to sue him. Right, and that's great, and they're going to expend a ton of resources and money on trying to sue him on this, and it's going to be the headline of the news for so long, which is great because he's actually emptying their coffers so they don't sue him on the next thing, which they will, but they'll ultimately be out of money. So the detail on this flag burning is that there's obviously a situation in which you're burning the flag, you're inciting violence, a riot, etc. How is that any different from all of California right now trying to ban ICE from wearing masks? Right, I can wear a mask. That's my freedom to do so. But if you're an ICE agent, then you can't wear a mask. It's exactly the same thing. He's taking a page out of their book. And frankly, I think that the lion's share of Americans agree with the fact that burning a flag is bad. So Trump is just targeting people's emotions, which is what he does best, which is why he's so popular. I think the panicans need to calm down here. And I think those on the right that are starting to attack Trump on this, it's like, let it play out. I'm not suggesting 13D chess here, because I still don't think that chess game exists, or checkers for that matter. But I think that this is a marketing thing for him, and he's winning.
Kennedy.
Hi.
Hi, how are you? Trump just seems to find a way to get all kinds of things done that are in that 80 percentile. You keep saying 80-20, but it's like 95-5. Why is it the Democrats find themselves? Because the argument to the flag burning or the argument to bringing the troops into D.C., I keep trying to find the opposition. And you're a libertarian. Is there a solid opposition to where you are cleaning up your streets, no murder in D.C. for 11 or 9 days? That's kind of, you would think in a first world country like America that's not a big deal, but that is a big deal.
Well, it is a big deal. You definitely want to see dropping crime rates, actual dropping crime rates, not just where the police are told to fudge the statistics and downgrade certain crimes so it looks like fewer felonies are being committed in your city, because cops hate doing that because they know it's incredibly dishonest. They also hate rearresting the same dirtbags over and over and over again. What I will say about this is what they're trying to do with the flag burning is they're not going to go after the flag burning itself, because that is in and of itself a constitutionally protected act. And that means that it's been before the Supreme Court twice, 2 years in a row, and the Supreme Court said, no, it is actually like your First Amendment rights allow you to do something as abhorrent and evil as burn the flags. But what they're trying to do is they take all the crimes that might be surrounding the flag burning, and they're going to go after that specifically. But I would also add this on. So when someone is burning a flag, that means that not only is the flag on fire, they might be on fire. So you may not have access to a water cannon, a squirt gun, or a fire extinguisher, but everyone's got a bladder. So if you're worried that the person who set the flag on fire might themselves be on fire, then you are constitutionally protected to tinkle on that person.
Loftus, I know that you don't do an impression of President Trump.
I don't. I wish I did.
But you do an amazing impression of Christopher Walken. What if President Trump sounded like Christopher Walken in today's, how it is?
He does all the time. Like, that's my Donald Trump. I call it Donald Walken. And look at that signature. That's a beautiful signature. Joe Biden didn't know he was alive. It's uncanny. Listen, with the flag burning, if you do it, you're going to jail for a year. And then when you get out, you got to burn another flag in front of a group of Marines, hand-selected by me. And then we'll see who wins the little battle of who wants to burn what. Personally, thank you. Thank you. I'm with Johnny Cash on this one. I'm not going to stop doing the voice. I'm having a good time. I believe you can burn the flag. It's protected by the First Amendment. But if you try to burn my flag, I'm protected by the Second Amendment. Pow, pow, pickety, pow.
Well played, sir.
And lastly, a lot of you ladies out there are probably wondering, what about my red, white, and blue bikini? You get a pass, even though you're flaming hot in that thing.
Negatory?
Negatory, but I wonder what Christopher Walken would think about me falsely being called a 27-year-old virgin.
You know, I don't think you're lying. Sorry, negatory.
Want even more Fox News on YouTube? Become a Fox News Patriot today. Click join to find out how.